Hello and welcome to another episode of Study of X, the bi-weekly X-Men podcast where we go through the Krakoa era of X-Men comics in chronological order. I am your host, Tim, and with me as always is Sergio and Chris.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to our 16th episode. We've been doing this for quite a while now.
Yeah.
That just occurred to me the other day, and it's been a while. It's been fun.
Yeah, it has been. We've gotten through a lot of issues since then.
Yeah, we've learned a lot. We've gotten better. We fixed some things. We still love fallen angels.
So
I cannot get enough.
Yeah, this week we are unfortunately not covering Fallen Angels. We will be handling X-Men number 5, Marauders number 5, and Excalibur number 5. And we get a little bit timeline jumpy here, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. Yeah, I don't know. What do we think of this week's issues? Just
without getting a whole lot into it, I mean, I liked them. I'm not sure where I would sit with my favorite, since they're all a lot of world building, kind of, and just character building, I suppose. But they were fun.
Yeah, agreed. I think they're kind of a doozy. I really enjoyed this batch, I think.
Yeah, I also think they're kind of a doozy. Some interesting stuff here from all 3 issues. Let's get into it a bit.
Yeah. All right, we are going to hop in with X-Men number 5, Into the Vault. It was released in January of 2020 and still written by Jonathan Hickman. And we are opening up here with a very contemplative Scott as he wonders what the hell he was doing and what he was thinking.
I like this page a lot. The first 3 panels that are up top, it's like vertical panels. We got 5 of them here. They're just blacked out before we get like actual Scott's face in the 4th panel from the bottom.
Yeah, it's just a good setup of, hey, something happened and he regrets it. What it is, you'll figure it out, but it's a really, really good tone setter.
Yeah.
And you might think by the end of this issue you will have figured out what exactly happened. I wouldn't get my hopes up.
All right, well, let's see if other people are... But more importantly here, for the introduction page that shows all of our characters, we are given a reminder of somebody from X-Men number 1, when the X-Men inadvertently freed Serafina from an Orcus research facility. To remind people, she is a member of the Children of the Vault, a highly evolved and highly dangerous superpowered group developed via exposure to temporal acceleration. And now they have found her and are trying to track her down in Ecuador.
Yeah. Are the Children of the Vault like from previous comics, or are they introduced in this run?
I believe they were introduced previously. I have not read the runs they are from. I think it might be just...
Right, because this...
Sorry.
Yeah, this reads to me as if I had to have read something previously.
Right. I have not read anything they are from either, so they are also new characters for me. But...
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I want to say this character specifically was not introduced. Like, this is a little bit new.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Sergio. I don't think this is written with the intent of, hey, if you're new here, let me kind of explain who they are. Even when they were first introduced back in X-Men number 1, they were sort of glossed over in support of the plot at large. But like Tim said, they have been around for a while. They were a plot point for a bit because Sabretooth worked with them as kind of hired muscle for a little bit. But they were mostly just, I would say, C to D tier villains at some point. Never a main plot.
Yeah, because the intro to this issue kind of makes it sound like here's a quick refresher on who these children are. The temporal anomalies ones.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all I have to go on with. But, I kind of get the gist of it.
Yeah, and we even see a bit more of how she can be dangerous because she is able to use her powers to turn these 2 sheep herders against Wolverine. He quickly dispatches them and also knocks some sheep away in the process, which is pretty funny. but gives you an idea, hey, they have superpowers. Probably not going to be good.
No.
I'm a big fan of these sheep herders fits here. The blue and the reds just kind of look here.
Mm-hmm. They had to color coordinate for the day. You're like, all right, you're going to be blue, I'm going to be red today.
Yeah. In general, I do think I like this exchange here with Wolverine too. I like how apprehensive he is about this almost.
Yeah, which is a bit of a change for him at times, because he's not one to shy away from having to beat people up if he has to. But he understands that his goal are not these people, it is the girl that he is trying to catch.
Right.
Yeah, they're kind of more of a nuisance. This is not going to be a satisfying fight for him. I think he has some warrior pride in him. That makes him feel like this is sort of a waste.
It's one, beneath him, and two, I think he knows these dudes don't. This isn't these dudes' fault here.
Yeah.
They're just kind of wrong place, wrong time.
Which, unfortunately for Wolverine, is almost just enough time for Serafina to get back to an auxiliary entrance to the vault, as she is able to enter it, and he immediately contacts Cyclops and lets him know that he failed in his mission.
Yeah. So what do we think of the look of the vault here? It seems like we have a giant, weird-looking Sentinel sitting on top of it.
So, I just looked this up, besides, I've said it before, but Tim and I have both been reading these comics since they came out, but I never quite looked into, hey, what is this weird Sentinel? I found out that it is considered a wild Sentinel factory. That is a secret Black Book project that the US made, where they created these wild Sentinel factories in Ecuador in case of a, quote, genetic war, so they could create self-sustaining Sentinels. And these Sentinels that were made here can use any material, preferably metal, around them to build themselves. So they were basically replicating Sentinels that they made. And the Children of the Vault just seemed to take over the factory.
As any state does.
So they're just kind of they just put a vault to where a Sentinel was hanging out.
Hey, you know what? If I was gonna put a secret vault somewhere, it would be in the secret Black Book project in the middle of Ecuador somewhere.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. So the Sentinel, I'm guessing, is no longer alive. I was kind of wondering if, like, the Sentinel was the thing that was inside the actual vault itself, but
I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but mother molds typically look like Sentinels, don't they?
Right, but they're like giant old heads. So yeah, I was wondering what the relation is here and if the Sentinel had anything to do with it, but I guess not. He's just decoration.
Very, very nice front door decoration.
Yeah. He's like, like the skeletons you put up for like Halloween, like like have you like I don't know if you guys saw, like, I think it was a couple years ago, they had like a giant skeleton, 40 feet or something ridiculous. Probably not that tall, but
oh yes,
it was like a 12-foot tall skeleton. Yeah, this is like the Sentinel equivalent of that.
Yes.
Plus, like you put it up on your front yard, and then taking it down is such a like effort.
Yeah,
you might as
well just leave it up full time.
Keep it up.
Yeah, like just hanging out.
Which is good. Funny. Because my neighbor up the street actually got one of those skeletons, and they did keep it up year-round. They would put a Christmas hat on him, they would give him an Easter basket, and then they got another one, so now there's two of them.
Yeah, see, that's just like
it's just common sense.
Yeah, like, that's just economical, like, it just makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now I want somebody to take one
The
of them.
homeowner association is not, like, complaining about it.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, no. But I would like somebody to take one of those skeletons now and turn it into a Sentinel, because that would be really cool.
Sure.
But I digress.
Yeah.
I do like the weird proportions it has.
Yeah, me too. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it looks like almost like a giant baby.
Yes.
It looks like a chibi version of a Sentinel.
Yeah, but also it's huge.
Like that's the design they would go for in like a gacha game.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah, so they tell Wolverine, do not go into the vault. Timey-wimey stuff happens in there.
Mm-hmm. It is bad. It's okay. We'll find another way in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to take a break from that as we see Serafina, who has entered the vault, and we get some nice data robotic text, I should say, of her re-entering the vault and it welcoming her home.
These pages are cool.
I think this is the sickest chick.
Yeah, like...
I love this.
It's really cool. It looks really cool.
Just, I love the aesthetic of, like, the computer stuff, like, all, like, these, like, backslashes filling up the screen. I like how it feels like the text kind of blends into the actual page itself. Like, it's really cool looking.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of command line output, like gibberish stuff.
Right.
It's entirely my shit. Yeah, I love this.
And thankfully, we're going to get more of that later. But before we do, we're back on Krakoa, as a team has been assembled. We have Sync, Wolverine, or X-23, and Darwin, who have been brought together and are being proposed this mission for them to go into the vault.
Yeah. Also, Armor is here for some reason.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not sure why she's here. It's kind of weird to me. Maybe she has a relation with some of these characters. I'm not sure, actually. But she does seem like a very odd inclusion.
Yeah, like, X-23, Darwin, and Sync are here for the actual mission itself, and, you know, Cyclops and they're just kind of like the original. And then, yeah, you just got Armor. But what is this? A X-Men team with some synergy?
Oh man, how about that? And it's on purpose. Because, as is explained, the way the vault works is when you're inside of it, time moves faster. This is how the children of the vault are able to evolve and get stronger so quickly, because for them, it's been several thousand years. For us, it's only been a couple of years. So, to get somebody inside, they need people with specific skills to do so. We have Darwin, who is mutant ability, as his name would suggest, is to basically survive in any sort of situation. We have Sync, whose ability is to copy a mutant's ability around him, and then we have Wolverine, who is self-explanatory in her abilities.
So in this page also, X-23, they call her X-23, she corrects it to Wolverine. Logan Wolverine seems okay with this, and yep, she's Wolverine now again.
Mm-hmm. He's like a very proud father at that moment. Like, yeah, you tell him, kid.
Yeah, she got her suit back.
Yeah, and it looks great. She looks wonderful in that suit.
Yeah. So, this kind of feels almost like a direct response to the backlash to that character being back to X-23 and Fallen Angels.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Because in that whole book, she's been called X-23 the entire time. And here she's like, well, no, that's not my name. I'm Wolverine. That's who I am.
Yeah.
There is no identity crisis. Who am I? Who do I fight for? Can I live in this paradise kind of thing that she has in Fallen Angels? That's just kind of thrown out here. She's fine here.
Yeah, wow, I cannot believe they're ruining Fallen Angels.
Yeah.
Thematic depth.
I know.
Right? Just taking it out and throwing it away. I can't believe Hickman would do that.
Yeah, just a big blunder from the writing room.
Yeah, just really just shitting on Fallen Angels here. The blasphemy of it. But yeah, so they have the ability, they can probably go into this vault and survive. Also, this vault is just like a hyper version of the hyperbolic time chamber, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. And to anybody listening who doesn't know what that is, it is from Dragon Ball Z. You go in there, time moves faster inside, so you can train faster.
There's gonna be like one person listening to this that doesn't know what that is.
This is true, but for that one person, I got your back.
You should probably stop listening to this podcast and go watch Dragon Ball Z.
Maybe a few episodes. It's really good.
But yeah, so we're going into the vault.
There's some drawbacks.
Yeah, just a couple.
As Xavier explains, once they are in the vault, Cerebro cannot find them. So once they are in, they have to get any sort of information they can, and they have to leave long enough for Cerebro to download their mind so they can be brought back. Which means, as long as they're in the vault, if they are dead or alive, nobody has any idea, and they will not be brought back unless they can be confirmed dead.
There's a fun little panel here with Lara telling Logan this sounds like a job for Wolverine. Logan's like, yeah, that's you.
Mm-hmm. I do wonder what his something pressing he has to do, because he said he would do it, but he's got other things, which was also hinted at in X-Force, I believe, where he mentions something as well to forge, but gets cut off. So I'm wondering if those are related.
Well, do I have good news about an upcoming book that we will read?
Oh boy, I can't wait.
So yeah, in a couple weeks we will start the, not a couple weeks, it'll be about 4 episodes from now, we will start the first issue. Wolverine will be the first new series launch.
Wolverine of X.
Yes, Wolverine of X.
Yes, it will replace, unfortunately, it will replace Fallen Angels. We will have to say goodbye to that. But we do get Wolverine instead. Will it live up to that hype? I don't know. That's a lot to put on Logan's back.
That is. But yeah, so we got our team and we got our medical report.
Yes, we have a wonderful data page here of the resurrection of Sync, his real name being Everett Thomas. Basically, how this is broken down, is once he was brought back, he's actually working 4% better than how he was previously. They posit that this is probably because the 5 are subconsciously fixing minor problems with mutants when they bring them back. Which in itself is a very interesting idea, because technically this would imply the more you're brought back with this method, the better and stronger you're going to be.
Yeah, well, I guess there's only so good they could make some, but yeah.
This is true. And also an interesting little bit about the psychology here is that Sync was actually having a bit of a hard time coming back. It seems like he died a good handful of years prior, so there's a very big time skip in him coming back here. So they have changed their resurrection methods and plan to bring people back in similar groups around the same age and the same time frame, so people are able to adjust a lot better. I love it. I like that little thing. It's a small world building thing, but great. I'm glad they're doing it.
Well, the part that I really like is when you first get the psychology section, they're like, yeah, I don't know if we can recommend bringing people back that died like this and have been gone for a while, because like they're come back and they're just a fish out of water. They don't know what's going on. They don't know anyone. And then there's a little star, and then we get a note like they figured out it was an afterthought, where they're just like, oh yeah, we gave him a friend. We resurrected someone else that died around that time, and now he seems like he's okay.
Who would have thought having a social companion would have helped you through hard times?
Just...
Well, what a novel idea.
Surprise.
So, but again, just little bits here and there. It does seem important that Sync is now stronger, considering he can copy the ability of mutants nearby him. That seems pretty good. But yeah, like I said, I like this one. Not the top tier data page, but it's up there for me.
It's good enough.
Yeah. But speaking of data.
Yeah, speaking of data, we are back in the vault as Seraphina is bowing before this floating face of some kind, as it is downloading the data of who Seraphina was and what happened with her group.
So yeah, apparently there was 4 other children of the vault besides Seraphina who all died.
Yes.
Who all had Spanish names for some reason.
Yeah. I'm kind of into Fuego.
I wonder what his powers were.
I'm gonna guess.
No way to know.
Look, hear me out here. I don't know if this is a for sure thing or not, but I would wager a guess that Fuego's power has something to do with fire.
I don't know. That seems a little far fetched, even for an X-Men comic.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a good theory, but like, I understand. Anyway, so
yeah, we just get some interesting stuff here. It is mentioned that her child pod, which is the group she was with, is titled Reconnaissance. And also under the analysis here, because it is all written like it is a data printout from a computer, basically she was supposed to go out, see how the world was doing, and then report back. And she did succeed in that, and the vault is now going to change how it reacts and says it is not time for it to open. They need to keep preparing for the problem that is Homo Superior.
Right. Well, it concludes that the mission that she was on, which I guess they don't really know what it was, I'm guessing it wasn't just reconnaissance, was a failure, and that both humanity and mutants are a bigger threat than it once thought, because both of those get bumped up a threat level.
Yeah. I don't think this pod got by the X-Men or mutants. Weren't they
Yeah.
like attacked by
They were attacked by
extremist
Orcus.
Right, yeah,
humans?
Serafina found or they found Serafina with Orcus, so Orcus captured her.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened to the other four, but as far as she goes, she was captured by Orcus, so that does mean humans were the threat here, or well, part of it at least.
Yeah, so we have technically a new third party. They're not aligned with humanity, and they're not aligned with mutants. They are their own thing that they are trying to, I would assume, take over the world, but that's just an assumption on my end.
Yeah. Anyway, so it looks like in our next page, the rest of them are brought back to life. And we get some other mumbo jumbo. I don't really know what all these mean.
So out of these 5, which one do you think is Fuego?
Well, if I had to guess, if just a shot in the dark here, I would say this person here with the trench coat, just because that trench coat is fire. And
also,
yeah, not the fact that his head is on fire.
Yeah. I mean, that'd just be a little bit too on.
That's true. That is a bit on the nose. He would be named after his fashion.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's a lot of data lingo. It seems there are different groups of children that are builders, swordsmen, reconnaissance, empire, whatever that would mean. But it looks like the vault is kicking itself back up again because it is restoring all of the children that had died. So
yeah, I think this is the closest we've gotten to the far future sections of Powers of X since we finished that.
Yeah, I would agree with that, absolutely. This is a, technological humanity combo that is far beyond what anybody else has at the moment.
Yeah.
So, but don't worry, because we are now going to break into the vault, and we are back here as Storm, Armor, and Cyclops describe how they are going to be a diversion as they begin to attack the outside of the vault, triggering the defense system so they can be the distraction while the other crew is able to, translocate their way inside.
Yeah, so what are these translocators? Did I miss something? They mentioned that they retrieved them from Orcus, but I do not remember Orcus having the ability to teleport.
I do not recall that either. They said that they got it in South America. I don't recall them ever fighting them in South America. Maybe it was some other moment. I remember back in X-Men #1, the group of X-Men were going around destroying different Orcus facilities, so maybe they just picked it up from there. But I don't recall a specific moment of them showing us that they had that.
Yeah, I guess. Kind of weird to mention, just offhand comment. We got some teleporters from Orcus. But okay.
Some extremely strong teleporters, but don't worry about it.
Hello, we're back. We had a little issue, technical issue, but I think it's all good now, so we may resume our episode.
Yeah. So, well, if our thought suddenly stops, we're sorry. I believe we were talking about a translocator.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was saying it was funny to have it mentioned without any previous really appearance that I can remember of translocators.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's something Forge just made, but yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, it does say they recovered them from Orcus, so
yeah,
I guess Orcus had them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, they should have used them more. Maybe they would have had a better leg up, but is what it is.
Yeah.
Considering the kind of grunts they were fighting against on that first issue of X-Men, yeah, they might have come in handy if they had this sort of technology.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe resort to the translocators and not the, was it crocodile people or?
Yes, they had some
morphing thing.
They turned into monkeys.
Monkeys, that's right.
Yes,
they were monkeys.
Yes, they said they had to de-evolve to evolve. It was really funny. They could have saved that for a better moment, or even have translocating monkeys. That would have been actually really fun.
Maybe. All right then.
But I did want to say in this whole sequence, as they're talking over what they're doing, there's this really neat little point where Sync is reaching his hand into the vault, and you can see it start to basically take everything off of his hand, and just his skeleton remains. Just to kind of reinforce the fact that, hey, it's very dangerous for you to even get in this place. And you see him, he activates his powers with Wolverine, and his hand is better. So they were right that this group is the group to go in there.
I really also want to just shout out this panel of Storm just hitting this Sentinel with a giant lightning bolt. It looks really cool.
Have I mentioned how much I love Storm? Because I love Storm to pieces. Just, you're right, this is such a good look, because she is silhouetted above this giant Sentinel head, and she just fully unleashes on it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so we're going inside the vault.
Mm-hmm. And it seems to have gone well. The distraction team is a excellent distraction. They run away after a little bit, and they believe it worked because the team to head inside were there one moment, gone the next. So, sounds good.
Yeah, they definitely succeeded in getting into the vault without anyone really noticing.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, so, our next page is them in the vault, where we get our computer aesthetic again. And, they know they're here immediately.
Yeah, it was not a stealth mission like they thought they were gonna be. The phase disturbance is detected immediately, and right away it says, anomaly detected, vault response incoming, protect the city.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep, things might go bad. So then we get a time skip to the future, where apparently it's been 3 months.
3 months, 5 days, and some change.
Yes, and Xavier guesstimates the time that's passed in the vault. 537 years.
And some change. And we have the great, wonderful callback to the first page where Scott realizes that his plan was actually not really a good one. Because the mutants that went into the vault have not returned, and they have no way to figure out what happened.
Is that what we were meant to get out of this? That they have not returned?
Yeah, I think that was the idea.
Yeah, that was the implication I got from it. What was the implication you got from it, Serge?
Nothing in particular. I just thought them not getting news was kind of the expected thing. They mentioned earlier in the issue when they're talking about how it took a while for the vault to open the last time. It did take a really long time, so it was kind of expected that they would be there for several thousand years. Does this mean that the vault did open and they did not come out?
Yeah, it might be less that it opened and more like they were hoping they would have found a way out at this point.
I didn't get the impression that they were trying to find a way out, more than they were trying to wait it out until the vault opened again. But maybe I'm mistaken and it's something else. I thought this was way more nebulous in terms of hey, what went wrong, than they just not showing up by
I think you could take it both ways and it would still work out. Because earlier on, Xavier explains that their plan is you have to get in, get the information, and get out. It is simply this group is made because they can get inside, and it's implied you're doing so because you're going to do it quietly and stealthily. Don't get caught, in and out as quick as you can. So I think the implication is that it should not have taken this long already, or 3 months for them. Which, if your stealth mission lasts 537 years, I think something has gone wrong.
Yeah, sure, I can see that. Were they supposed to use the translocator to get out as well? I didn't get that impression either. I
did not either. I feel like it was just for them to get in. I don't know if they thought far enough ahead of figure out how to get out. But it also seems like they don't actually know what's in the vault. It's just... Yeah. There is a hyperbolic time chamber. What's in there, huh?
I think this is a very sloppy plan then. I don't know what else they expected.
Yes, I would agree with that, which would probably also partially be why Scott is so hard on himself here. Because he did just subject 3 mutants to going into the unknown, and have been gone for 500 years.
Yeah, okay.
So as a leader, I would also be kind of upset at myself, being like, why didn't I think this through? So, but this wraps up our issue of the X-Men number 5 here. Just as a quick, summary, I really enjoyed this one. I was surprised to see that the Children of the Vault were being brought back already. I had honestly forgot about Seraphina in issue number 1. So when this came back, I was like, wait a second, what's happening? What are we doing?
And it was like, this.
Yeah, it's like, there is this side plot that was established at some point. So it is nice to see that followed up on, because the previous 4 issues have kind of been different establishing points every issue. So cool to see something else happen. Kind of leaves itself open to where it's going, because we don't know what happened to the mutants inside, other than Scott really messed up. So other than that, fine issue. I thought it was cool. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, kind of overshadows the plant ladies.
Yeah, it makes the plant ladies seem very small fish in comparison,
No. Edith can take these people. Like, you're gonna put Fuego up against the plant ladies? Like, nah, they ain't winning.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah.
Like the next step is send the ladies in?
Oh, yeah.
Destroy
That's
it from the inside.
I would actually not advise that, because I feel like that would end up being the old ladies take over, and then they run the Children of the Vault, and that seems like the bad solution to every problem.
Yeah, but you'll have a lot of plants and goo. That'd
That's
be a fun
true.
aesthetic.
That's true. I bet it is a fun thing. A bad time for mutants, though, so I don't know if I'd recommend.
Anyway, we want to talk about Marauders.
Yeah. So with Marauders number 5, A Time to Sow, it was released in January of 2020, written by Gary Duggan. And we're opening on something a little different here. As Sebastian Frost and Iceman are here in the Arctic, and they are putting out a fire in the Arctic because
Did you say Sebastian Frost?
Did I say Sebastian Frost? I believe I did. Is that not his name?
No. Sebastian Shaw's the other guy. This is Christian Frost.
Christian Frost. They're close. That's probably why I messed up.
Yeah, it's a 50 Shades of Grey sounding name, so just always keep that in mind.
Okay. Okay, I will keep that in mind. But we do get a fun little bit here of Iceman attempting with his own powers to help the problem that is global warming.
Also, this just is the most flirtatious opening scene. Like, good lord.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, these two are flirting, like, not even subtly. It's just on the surface.
Yeah. But yeah, Iceman wants to do his part in helping global warming, so, yep.
Mm-hmm. He very much hates the Anthropocene era, which is the scientific term for the era we're currently in, which means the era of global warming. But yeah, they decide to handle it on their own, and then we get a nice, more personal conversation between the two, as we learn that Christian Frost has extended to Iceman for him to join his crew aboard his submarine.
Do you know Christian's powers?
I do not, actually.
Yeah, me neither. I thought I should look it up, and then I forgot.
Oops. All I know is he's just related to Emma. That's all I got from him. Now that I think about it, I've never seen him use his powers, so I actually don't know what they are. Huh.
Well, there's no time like today to
this is what we're gonna figure out. Hold on 1 second. Attributes: astral energy manipulation.
Well, that explains it.
Yep, there we go.
Does it? I don't know how much that explains, other than me just nodding and going, "Yeah, that sounds cool."
He's basically just he can just weapons and stuff out of.
Cool. Also, apparently, he's immune to Emma's telepathic powers because they're related. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. The submarine's cool looking. Apparently, the piano is the helm.
Yes, we find that out later, and it's also a changing submarine. The piano is not always a helm, which is really neat. The Marauders and the Hellfire Trading Company have a ton of money to make these massively impressive ships.
Do you think the blender is a helm at sometimes?
Depending on what you put in there, it depends on where you...
Yeah, they just casually have a juice bar set up out here with this piano and...
a massive glass ceiling so you can see the ocean while you're going through it.
Yeah, this submarine seems kind of cool.
It does seem very cool. But all of this aside, we do get a very interesting observation from Christian where he says, well, I don't know why you're not coming aboard my ship, or is it the fact that you and Storm are hanging around Kitty so much because you're worried that if she dies, she's not going to come back?
Yeah, because, you kind of look at it, and the Marauders crew has some powerhouses on it. But yeah, both Bobby and Storm are both very close to Kate, so it makes sense for these two to be very worried about it.
Yes, and Iceman does also defend Kate here by correcting Christian about her name. She does not want to be called Kitty anymore. She's Kate now.
Yeah.
So, but we are back very quickly in Hellfire Bay, as there is a meeting going on between all of the higher-ranking officials as members of this club. And we see here that Sebastian is proposing that Kate take the Marauder and head over to Madripoor to help out in the area instead of having his son do it. He says that it is a milk run, women's work. And in response to this, Kate calls for a vote, where Sebastian is very quickly outvoted by her and Emma.
Can we talk about Kate's glasses here for a second? Because this is a good look. I'm sure there is a name for these. I don't know it, but
it's a vibe, and I really like it.
It's like those like old like 70s like circular looking rock star glasses.
Yes.
And she's got them like down on her nose, like she's looking over them instead of like through them. It's a nice look.
It's very good. She seems to be very comfortable in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shinobi, I think, is very interesting to this dynamic here because Sebastian's very much trying to muscle in his way and whatnot, and he's here, and Shinobi just doesn't really care as much. He comments that, hey, you guys are better at pissing off my father than I am.
Yeah, he didn't make any mention of having to go to Madripoor or anything. It almost seemed like it was all his father's idea, and he's just sort of here along for the ride. Which,
right.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that feeling from him. We'll see what that leads to. I do think it's interesting after learning about what he all went through. It seems like he's still trying to figure out what he wants to do with himself.
Yeah. I think it Bishop behind Kate?
Yes, I believe so.
He shows up like a very, very small figure on the very first panel of this section.
Yeah, and then like isn't in the background after that. But yeah,
it's kind of confirmation that he accepted the Red Bishop position.
Right.
Yeah, a very, very minor detail, but yeah, no, I'm glad you pointed that out because I didn't even notice him. He's very small right there.
Yeah.
Also, Kate gets to learn Krakoan.
Yes, because we are back at the Red Keep, and Kate here toasts to women's work to make fun of Sebastian and his words, which honestly made me very happy. It was a great moment. Kate still doesn't know Krakoan, so Emma gives it to her. And what they say here, I looked it up. Emma here says Slente. I'm probably mispronouncing that horribly. It is an Irish version of cheers. And then once Kate learns Krakoan, she responds gracias in Krakoan.
So didn't she get Krakoan downloaded into her head in another issue, or am I getting that mixed up with someone else?
I think they mentioned that they needed to download it into her head at some point, and then did do it till now.
Yes, she mentioned it with Bishop when they were going into that woman's house to save her husband, but she probably just got sidetracked with all the stuff that she's doing.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
And honestly, these next couple of pages are probably one of my favorites that we've had so far in terms of character interactions, because we do have a vulnerable moment from Kate here, where she says that she's really worried that the fact that the gates don't work for her, does that mean that the resurrections won't? Will she be the only old woman on an island of immortals? And Emma, in her way, comforts her, and she says that she too is afraid to die, but only because she's not sure what nose she's going to come back with when they bring her back, which is a really, really funny little joke here.
Yeah, there's kind of a nice little like moment of vulnerability here where Kate kind of mentions that she wishes that or she kind of wonders what would have been like if she went with Emma's school instead of Xavier's back in when she was younger.
Mm-hmm. Which probably would have been a very, very different thing. And even Emma here mentions that it likely would not have gone well because she was barely a woman herself and she would have utterly destroyed Kate. Which, what I know about Emma Frost's past, I would agree with. She's a lot more confident and sure of herself and her actions in Marauders so far than how she was previously.
Yeah, and, less overtly evil too, so
yes,
she's got that going for her.
I do think that helps. But after this nice heartfelt moment, Emma makes a very interesting mention here that I wanted to point out because we like to talk about that kind of thing. She says, "Now let's meet these new mutants that you've rescued. They need to be given habitats, but first, let's get rid of their awful human garb." However, this tiny little sentence here does confirm that people are getting their houses. It sounds like they're just being given homes on Krakoa.
Yeah, points for Krakoa. They have provisioned this entertainment room with presumably is it air hockey and
there's a little basketball machine.
Game.
Yeah, which helps for the new arrivals, if you're just coming to Krakoa after being either attacked by the Brazilian Navy or Russians. Helps.
This is kind of, it looks like there's a claw machine over here too. This is, I feel like, one of the first times we've seen some stuff that isn't just, frolicking.
Yes, it reminds me of when we saw Sunspot's room where he had a TV and portraits of himself. So it looks like there are some quote-unquote human amenities that are still being brought in. Unless Krakoa can grow a air hockey table, which would be really cool.
I bet it can.
I bet it can too. I was about to say.
But I don't know if that's the first thing that I would show newcomers to Krakoa.
Yeah, look at our air hockey table.
The island made it.
There's still vines clinging to the walls and floor and the machine itself.
Yeah.
But I don't think that means the island made it.
Yeah. It could have.
Or Krakoa really wants to play.
Yeah. But an emergency is underway. Apparently the upstart. Also, I feel like we should clarify the Emma's brother's ship is named the Mercury. And the upstart is apparently the name of Shinobi's ship, and it is under attack in Madripoor. And after some clowning on the name, the rest of the Marauders are out to go help them.
Yep, and we get a look here of Sebastian watching everybody run to the rescue as he too walks through a gate. And in Krakoan, it does say Madripoor.
Well,
so I'm sure that'll go well, that he is watching them run away and say, yes, this is good, and then walking through the gate directly to where the problem is.
He's gonna help him out too. He's just being...
Right, I'm sure. And then we get another lovely data page from the X desk, and a very nice one, because it opens with that the writer's mother has been brought back from the brink of and the current and only employee of the X desk is going to be working from home for the time being to celebrate this miracle with their family. They do mention that this could be a conflict of interest, which I imagine it would be, but if the superiors have nothing wrong with it, they will continue to work on the X desk.
Yeah, they also have some news about some people in the Hominis, Jesus, I don't know how I'm going to pronounce this.
Hominis Verendi.
Hominis Verendi. Yeah, so they have done some stuff. They've purchased some Krakoan medicine off the black market. And they've also purchased a lot of, what the heck was it? Was it cyanide?
It is cyanide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they might be doing some stuff with that medicine that won't be too good.
I mean, hey, maybe you need medicine to make yourself feel better, and then cyanide for, whatever else you use cyanide for. I actually don't know.
Yeah, so this might be because we're getting it from the other side. This is intel that isn't really of the mutants, but this seems like the first time the X-Desk has, some actual intel.
Yeah, I really like this bit, because now we have someone who's been established as, a low-level kind of monitor to the X-Men that doesn't seem to get much attention from the, intelligence operation. and then they stumble upon what's actually a pretty big deal that is pretty actionable for the mutants. So I'm kind of curious if this is going somewhere.
Yeah, like this is intel the mutants don't have. Like,
yes, and interesting also is the writer says that, hey, maybe we should reach out to our Krakoan allies and tell them, which up until this point I would have said the X-Desk is more of an aggressor and anti-mutant, but after this I realized technically it's not. They are just an information desk. They are just trying to catalog and categorize everything. They're actually not pro or anti-mutant in any particular way, except for this action here where they're like, hey, we should help them out here.
Yeah, just like the CIA.
Just like the CIA, oh boy.
It's only a harmless intelligence arm of the US government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm sure nothing bad will come from it.
Yeah, just fuck around, maybe accidentally overthrow a couple governments.
Mm-hmm. Never find out, only fuck around.
Yeah, but I do like this guy here. And by guy I mean whoever's writing this X-Desk. I guess it could be a woman.
Yes, could be a woman, could be a man, not sure, but I have also said guy in relation to them.
a cute X-Desk page nonetheless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I would like to see this pay off eventually.
I cannot believe we got character development for the X-Desk page person.
Right?
But yeah, here we are. But anyway, we are back in Madripoor. There is apparently a hit out for the mutants.
And everybody and even their children have guns trying to get in on this hit, because Bishop asks one of the children here, who just has a rifle, and apparently the rules are you kill a mutant, you see Varendi, and then they make you rich.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, Bishop and Storm are here. Bishop tells this kid, don't do that, go inside, and we're off to a boat.
Yep.
He pulls a stack of bills to pay off the kid.
Yeah.
Where was he keeping those bills?
That
doesn't fit in a wallet.
Well, do you see his pouches here?
He does have several pouches.
Carrying millions of dollars on those pouches?
You never know.
I was also going to make a joke that he does have this red scarf going on. I mean, maybe he's hiding it in there. You never know when you'll need the dollars.
Yeah, you don't know when those PS5s are going to be available.
That's true. You always got to be ready.
You're just going to have the cash on hand. Walk into the Best Buy, grab a PS5, walk off.
Slap down a bunch of bills on the counter.
Uh-huh.
So,
yeah.
But unfortunately, there are no PlayStations here, as all of these gun-wielding individuals are now surrounding the upstart over. Storm and Bishop very easily and very quickly make their way on board, where Sebastian asks how they got there, considering that there is mutant power-dampening armor around.
Shinobi.
Sorry, Shinobi. Oh my goodness. It's all the S's, I tell you.
I know. Are you gonna... I think you've mistaken every bishop except for Bishop for Sebastian at this point.
I think I have. At least Bishop's easier to remember because he is a bishop.
Yeah, he's literally just Bishop. But yeah, so Shinobi mentions that there's power dampening armor and some dudes wearing the armor from Russia we saw in issue 1 show up.
This armor is so goofy.
Yeah, I love the giant star on them.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't know.
The giant star, they're color coded. I love it. They're very silly. They're very Saturday morning cartoon villain kind of a suit.
Yeah.
Do you not like the tubes here, Sergio?
Yeah, I think Chris nailed it with the Saturday morning cartoon vibes.
Yeah.
They're just so silly.
What's gonna happen to one of them though is not Saturday morning cartoon appropriate.
No, not at all.
So these dudes are very confident that they have depowered the mutants, but unfortunately, what they were unaware of is that Storm's secondary mutation, which cannot be turned off, is a knife.
Yeah, it is just a knife made of vibranium, that is.
Yeah, and this gets plunged right in this man's eye. So there was a period of earlier X-Men where Storm lost her powers, and she stayed without her powers for a long time. And during this period, she led the X-Men, and yeah, this is why.
Because she had a knife?
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
hey, I love that.
Bishop also doesn't seem to be too pressed about the power dampening because his secondary mutation is gun.
Literally the worst people to take away their powers because they had secondary powers all along.
Yeah.
So, but, joking aside, I do like this whole thing with Storm because she's just immediately out of the gate. You can't take my power. I'm not powerless. And then just stabs the guy right in the eye.
Yeah, it's good.
Big pro woman's power over here.
Yeah. These fucking kids are such shits.
Yeah, we're swinging pretty wildly from Saturday morning cartoon, awful violence, back to Saturday morning cartoon because the Hellfire kids are watching everything going on and are apparently behind this because they're the ones that bought the Russian armor.
Yeah, just rancid vibes coming off of these kids.
Yeah, like just look at this kid's hair and his glasses. Like,
I think he has champagne. I don't even think he's old enough to drink.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this is Cade Kilgore. I think the person behind him is Manuel, and this girl with the binoculars is Wilhelmina.
Yeah, Wilhelmina Kensington. We right after this get a data page of basically their structure that mimics exactly the other Hellfire Club that we know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the white bishop is Chin Zhao, who was our friend from the previous issues, and the black bishop is Maximilian Frankenstein. That's a cool name. I wonder who that is.
I wonder. Again, like we said earlier, he's got a legitimate grudge against the mutants because they beat up his relative Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster.
Yep.
But we are back over here with Kate and Pyro as they are heading to Madripoor the old-fashioned way upon a boat. There is a lot of smoke up ahead, but there's no fire, which causes Kate to realize that something seems to be a bit off. And a boat beelined straight out of the smoke directly towards them. And thankfully, Kate is able to flex her powers as she makes the entire boat intangible for a moment.
Yeah, pretty cool maneuver.
Yeah, the boat just passes through. Iceman looks happy until the immediate next panel where they're boarded by some racist-looking people.
Yes. Some members of the clan basically show up and tell them that humanity will never yield to gene junk. Mankind first. I wonder what they're based off of.
Yeah,
it's the Happy Happy cult from Earthbound.
Yeah.
Yes,
they're okay.
Yeah,
I can see
the
man has a purple hood thing with that's pointed at the top. I wonder what that's supposed to result in. And a flaming sword thing.
Mm-hmm. And then just a gun.
Yeah. I think both of these people are characters that have existed previously, but I don't know. We'll probably learn that next issue.
Yes, I believe we do.
I'm sure.
I believe we actually do, because I did look them up, and they have been around, you are correct. Oh. But we can talk about that next time.
Yeah, well, hold on.
You gotta give us something.
Yeah, let's go into it. Let's go into it a little bit now, because we are supposed to know who the heck these people
are. So these fellas here, they have always been anti-mutants. They have been very racist, as you can see.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Hatemonger. Is the person with the H on his suit here, and this other guy here is Executioner. Dash Cutioner.
Okay, maybe we can workshop those a little.
I think we could.
Yeah.
But do we want to for the super racists?
So, Executioner here has apparently been around since 1993. Hatemonger is a relatively new character. Was introduced in 2011.
Oh no! Do you want to know more about Hatemonger?
I would like nothing more.
His genetic template, because he is a clone, is from Adolf Hitler.
Oh boy. Also, he's apparently was only in like a Black Panther mini thing before this, so he hasn't really been in too much stuff. This is a pretty obscure character. So yeah, that's hate monger.
I've heard enough. I think we can move on to the next issue.
Yes, I think we can stop there and just be like, yeah, no, they're pretty bad.
God.
Yeah, this Executioner here hasn't shown up in too much stuff either. Apparently had a very long appearance, showed up in 5 issues of Punisher. It's kind of funny. Alright, yeah, let's go on to Excalibur.
Alrighty, so moving on to Excalibur, we have Excalibur number 5, verse 5, Panic on the Streets of London. This is released in January of 2020, and still written by Teenie Howard. We're opening back up here immediately back into the action as Richter is trying to save Gambit from falling down the hole that he fell in last time.
It seemed to me like he'd fallen. I wasn't under the impression that he could be rescued, but I guess we're kind of winding back things a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, time is a little wishy-washy here.
He takes a little bit of a tumble on the way down, though. Maybe that's why Richter was able to catch up.
Yeah. Not even a minor tumble. He's just smacking all along the side here.
I love the detail of the bits he bumps.
I like the sound effects on him. We got like wham, whack, and wood.
Yeah.
Good classic comic sound effects.
I like how the wood is reserved for him hitting the back of his head.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, Richter manages to save him with his rock powers, and Gambit is not going to die in a pit today.
Yes.
Yeah, he does so by drawing some power from the crystal they just retrieved for Apocalypse, which is going to come into play later.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this finite resource that has taken thousands of years to collect and condense. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. Anyway, Otherworld is mad. And we got a lot of funky creatures to deal with.
Mm-hmm. And no druids to be found, because they just sort of left the hole in the earth, like nothing else happened. But don't worry about that, because as Richter and Gambit begin to fight these otherworld creatures, Apocalypse calls them my coven, and tells them that they must return to the lighthouse.
We also get a title drop here where Gambit, apparently he and Richter are both fans.
Tim, it sounds like you know them. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
The Smiths are a very, very well-known band, and they're a very well-regarded band. Their singer has some interesting political views, we'll just say.
Ah, okay. You don't have to go any more than that.
Yeah, that was something that's... It's one of those things that fans of that band kind of grapple with a lot, but yeah, he's not a good dude. But yeah, Apocalypse shows up and says, my coven, which I think is very, very funny. Gambit does not seem happy about this. Richter also seems curious.
Mm-hmm. But Apocalypse said he would explain it in another of their long talks. So they're still having some good self-help sessions, it sounds like.
Yep. Meanwhile, back in London, there's a dragon.
Yes, what looks like a hydra is wreaking havoc everywhere as Betsy and Pete Wisdom are trying to figure out what to do. And Pete remembers that, hey, we should head back to my apartment because there is something there that can help you. And once they reach it, he points out that there is a Krakoan gate directly across from him, and hopefully Betsy can use this.
Yeah, he's gonna stay here.
Yeah, he's just gonna keep fighting the Tears of the Kingdom enemy I fought earlier.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's true. Maybe he's gonna combine a couple of things in his room and actually destroy this thing. I doubt it, but hey, you never know.
Uh-huh.
Back in the dream world, we get Rogue and a fire dog.
Mm-hmm. The same fire dog from Betsy's dream. And the same thing happens where this fire dog leads her along through parts of the dream to what it seems to be helping her out along the way. So Rogue is led through here, and she comes to a circle of Sentinel stones. And all while this is happening, she kind of has a monologue going. And essentially, it's more talking about who she is as a person and how she's trying to figure out what this dream is. We get more of an insight that she's headstrong, but in a good way, always listens to herself and knows what she wants to do. But also, while she's doing this, she feels like her man needs her. She feels like Gambit is probably in trouble.
Yeah, does not appreciate the interference that Apocalypse has inflicted upon them.
No, which, considering she is now Sleeping Beauty because of him, I would also be upset.
Uh-huh.
But before we can actually find some answers for that, we are back at the lighthouse where Apocalypse, Betsy, who has now arrived, and Jubilee are fighting off horrible, horrible monsters from the other world, while Apocalypse is mentioning that eons of waiting and it's all happening too damn soon. So everything that's going on was his plan the whole time.
Yeah. Also, apparently the Shoga Dragonfire melting the kind of reality was actually just what happened. I assume those two were messing with Betsy last issue.
No, it seems like the worst thing they could have told her was the truth, that she did actually mess up there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it's okay, Gambit's here, and is saying that he got in touch with a psychic on Krakoa and had her just kind of nudge Rogue to maybe wake up from the dream. And Apocalypse is not happy.
No, he is very, very upset about this because he has carefully aligned everything to align with the cosmos as well, so all of his plans work out. And he's got a very good line here where he and Gambit are arguing, and his response is, trying to get to hell before your wife, Gambit?
Yeah, these two do not like each other.
At all. But before we get into them having a fist fight, we're back in the dream, because with this power beam that the stone Apocalypse has shot into Rogue here, it kind of coalesces into her stomach, which I think is kind of interesting, and I almost feel like it's supposed to be an indication or a parallel to pregnancy in a way, which I'm still trying to kind of figure out what Teeny was going for there. She is talking about this entire time, how Apocalypse is just going to try to take credit for what she's doing, just like a man would, but he's going to be disappointed because she's not a kept woman, and she's going to do whatever she wants to do, regardless of whatever Apox wants.
Yeah, it's definitely like evocative of being pregnant, and then she stabs her stomach with a sword.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which she explains is dream logic. It doesn't make sense, and I hate it when that happens, but it's dream logic. So stabbing herself in the stomach worked because the power shoots out of it, and creates itself into a throne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she also just calls this Fire Dog Prestige, just kind of a hint on who might have been the psychic that Gambit talked to here.
Mm-hmm. And also says the name Rachel to give you much more of a hint as to who it might be. And Sergio, I'm curious, we have met this person once. Do you know who she's referring to?
I'm not sure. I know, because I looked it up, that there is Rachel Gray or Ann Summers. Is this from one of the first issues of X-Men, where Summers gathering?
Yes, she was the short-haired one there. But yeah, Rachel Summers is just one of the Summers.
God, I'll have to go back, and I really do not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was also on the field trip with Cyclops and Cable, where they went to the island to find the summoner.
Oh, all right, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't make the connection until I also had to look it up. But yeah, this is implied very heavily that this is her, and she's helping out. Which, if she had done so directly with her telepathic powers, probably would not have gone well, but doing it in a subtle dream version seems to be safe.
Yeah. Rachel is also, like, a classic kind of, like, that is one of the X-Men people that went to join Excalibur, like, way back when, so that's kind of a fun nod there. But yeah, Rogue sits on the throne, and some crazy shit happens.
Mm-hmm. Seems like the world's changing.
Yep. Anyway, do we want to talk about the Grimoire of A?
Alright, Sergio, I have to know, where does this magic data page rank amongst everything?
I think it is not as ridiculous as I like them to be. because this one seems to be a little bit self-serious. But I think it's pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The sun and moon simultaneously present in opposition, obviously. Conduit arrival, twin suns and moons. And the suns and moons transit to squares, and conduit forms quincunx of solar lunar square, mm-hmm. as you do.
The basic magic knowledge right there, of course.
Also, I enjoy that the first paragraph of this little topic about astrology here is just Apocalypse just kind of trashing like the human concept of astrology.
Yes, I have been enjoying that, where Apocalypse is just like, yeah, human magic, they've just been doing it wrong for centuries. And he even dunks on their kind of idea of the sky and how when they made communities, they blocked themselves off from the universe at large. Just a very weird flex on him to dunk on them. But then he also makes a theory that mutants in general, because of their increased ability to survive and coexist, that they are made to be communal and have a shared interest with each other.
I love this little theory specifically. And that is mostly because I feel like this was a setup for a joke. Mutant abilities are purely phenotypical expressions that allow for higher survival capability and ability to exist as a communal organism with shared interests. So they're a communal species, and that helps them do magic. We get Apocalypse's signature, and then immediately on the next page is Apocalypse saying, "I will bury you," as he punches Gambit like into the ground. Like,
I never made that connection. That's actually really good.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to the first of the data pages here, because now that I look at it, it looks like the X-Men logo. I think I like it better for that.
It does look like the X-Men logo. Everything is an X.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right. The true secrets of magic.
So I am back on board. I rate this highly.
Okay, good. Well, we had to remember that the X is superior to the circle, and now the magic is here again.
However, there are several circles and only one X.
Ooh, that's true.
So what gives Apocalypse?
Or you only need one X, and all of these circles are there because that's the only way it could mimic the X's power. Look at what they need to get even a fraction of our power, kind of.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
But yeah, so Apocalypse is beating the shit out of Gambit.
Understatement of the year, because he pretty much digs him several feet underground with one punch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, the crystal's been split. Apocalypse learns why, that it was Richter saving Gambit. This pisses him off even more. This man just insist on ruining whatever Apocalypse has planned here.
Yeah, I would be mad as Apocalypse as well. I do feel like this moment is kind of odd, considering Apocalypse did just beat the ever-loving shit out of Gambit, and everybody else is just not doing anything about it. I understand that there are monsters around, but considering everybody's worries about Apocalypse being a good guy versus not being a good guy, I really thought they would jump on him at this moment.
Yeah, I'm guessing it is a monster thing, because even Betsy is just like, seems to be kind of understanding what's going on and being like, no, we got to take care of this still. I don't know what they're doing. They need to stop.
Uh-huh. Betsy seems to somewhat understand what Apocalypse is doing here.
Yeah, Jubilee has no idea what's happening.
Yeah, she's just kind of here. It's a good thing Shogo's not here, but she seems to be the most out of the loop of everybody.
Yeah, this is like our second time where she's just appeared confused recently. Our first was whenever Gambit showed up. She was just like, oh, I thought like what happened to Rogue was like a mystery. I didn't realize it was Apocalypse. And Gambit's like, oh yeah, I knew.
Yeah, but I think that's more just Gambit's bravado than anything else. This could have ended up not being Apocalypse's fault, and he would have been like, yeah, but it was his fault somehow. And just grumbled about it. So, but we see Apocalypse having a moment of thought as the 10,000-year-old bones were used on accident to save Gambit. So he's wondering if the magic then transferred to Gambit, and if he can use him in some way to finish the ritual. But he doesn't get...
Just an aside, these crystals are 1,000-year-old mutant bones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we had that little bit of a glimpse but right before they built the lighthouse where Apocalypse watches those mutants drown. It's implied that their bodies just kind of got eaten by the earth and turned into crystals. Shrug magic. But before Apocalypse can do anything with Gambit, Rogue comes charging in with a nice floral look and begins to then beat the shit out of Apocalypse.
She punches him into a bird.
I mean, that's the least she could have done after he punched and buried her husband.
And turned her into Sleeping Beauty.
Yes, that too. We cannot forget about that. And she confronts him, and we have a scene here where she takes off her gloves as she goes up and grabs Apocalypse's face. Just for anyone who does not know Rogue, her ability is to suck the power and therefore the life force of anybody she touches with skin contact. So when she's doing this to Apocalypse, she is actually killing him.
Yeah, and Apocalypse realizes this and encourages it because he realizes this might be the trick.
Mm-hmm. They need a replacement for 10,000-year-old bones, so why not use his?
Yeah, he's old enough. This'll work.
Uh-huh.
And he is extremely pleased by this. I've never seen someone so happy to be horribly murdered.
Yep. And the ritual is complete, and we now got our permanent gate to Otherworld, I think. And Apocalypse is dead.
Yeah.
And Rogue looks like Apocalypse now.
Yeah, a lot happens here. We get a gate, it looks different. Apocalypse becomes a dry, crusty husk just off in the corner. And then Rogue makes a very awkward joke as she looks like Apocalypse, and she's glowing with power. It's, that happened.
Uh-huh, sure did.
I definitely, this feels like a climax issue, but I enjoyed seeing all these pieces kind of come together here.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat now that I've kind of gotten the flow of how Excalibur works, where I'm like, okay, we're just going to be moving at all times. So we are not going to breathe, we are not going to stop for a moment, we're just going to go. I've come to enjoy it. I like the pace. I still wish things were explained maybe just a bit more, or were given just a bit more character interaction that isn't rushed. But hey, we did actually get some payoff here, as opposed to, maybe a couple of other issues. Even X-Men, as much as I do love the X-Men comic, not a lot of payoff for all these plot points that have been started. Whereas here, we're like, boom, we're done. Keep going. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that seems to be the vibe of this whole run so far. I wouldn't expect that to change, and I think I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, and it's been enjoyable. Like I enjoyed this issue quite a bit. Apocalypse and Gambit finally coming blows, I thought was done pretty well.
Mm-hmm. I would argue that was probably my favorite bit of this whole issue, was them coming to blows, because it's been building up and it was a satisfying payoff.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happens next time? I honestly could not tell you. Apocalypse is probably going to be brought back. Rogue may just lose the Apocalypse look with how fast this comic runs. Maybe we'll see what happens with this new gate. I really hope we do, and maybe we'll see what the Wizards are doing in London still.
Yeah, plenty of open threads to pull on.
Right. And, I think with that, we're at the end of our issues. A pretty kind of solid batch of issues here. Honestly enjoyed them all.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them all.
I'm in the same boat. Varying degrees of enjoyment, but nothing I would say is bad, by any means.
The first one definitely the most evocative for me. But beyond that, the other two were pretty solid. Marauders continues to coast along, pretty consistent. And I've kind of come to understand what to expect from Excalibur. And after I've adjusted my expectations, it's fulfilling them pretty consistently.
Yeah, I think Excalibur is probably the one that takes the most to kind of get a hang of what it's trying to do. But once you do, it's like, yeah, this is pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so our next episode, we will be covering issue 5 of New Mutants, issue 5 of X-Force, and issue 5 of Fallen Angels. As we get close to the...
It breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So,
but yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited for next time. I'm excited to see what happens with New Mutants and X-Force. And, of course, wherever Fallen Angels goes, I don't know. I still...
Whenever it goes, we follow.
Yes. That's a good way to look at it. I like that.
Yeah, and like, if we're being honest here, the worst part of this week's issues was X-Men just stomping all over.
It's true. Now we're never going to know what happened to all the other issues because now X-23 is just Wolverine.
All right. Where can they find you guys?
People can find me on Twitter at Fireblend, Fireblend. They can listen to my other podcast, which is Stray Reads, on their podcast platform of choice. That's about it. We just recorded an episode on a pretty cool Borges short story collection. It was a cool episode. I really enjoyed our discussion, so go listen to that.
I highly recommend that podcast. It's fun to read too, and also to read along with it. But if you're looking for me, I am not on Twitter as much anymore, but if you need to get in contact with me for whatever reason, you can find me at Sawneeks, which is SAWNEEKS on Twitter. And Tim, if they are trying to find the entrance for the Children of the Vault to find you in the hyperbolic time chamber, where should they look?
Well, it would be in a forest in Ecuador. If you go in there... if you're able to find it, it's really obscure. It's hard to find. It's just a very small website. But if you're able to find it in there, you can find me in there at Fuego.
Got it. Okay. I'll make sure to send a package over there. But if you are looking to follow this podcast on any social media, you can find it at Study of X on Twitter and also on Tumblr. If you have any questions, comments, your best joke, or anything else that you would like to send us so we might read it here, you can send it to studyofx@gmail.com. And of course, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our other episodes, if you could leave us a review on your podcasting app of choice, that would be great. We would love it if more people read the comics with us and got to enjoy them just as we are.
Tell all your friends.
And your enemies, too.
Especially your enemies.
We're trying to win anti-mutant hearts so we can show them that mutants are in fact wonderful.
But yeah, I think that'll do it for this week.
Yeah, so until next time, later mutants.
Bye.
Bye.